Okay, so we want to sum today three doubles. The takeout double, negative double, and the penalty double. Penalty double for me is always I start with penalty, is the most important. Because all doubles are penalties. It's very important to understand that in terms of the rules of the game, when you double, it's penalty, okay? Now, obviously, in many cases, you don't mean to penalize the opponents, and you want your partner, you want to send information, you want your partner to bid, or whatever it is. What I mean when I say all doubles are penalties is that if you doubled and everybody passed, this is penalty, okay? So you cannot change that. You cannot change the fact that double is penalty, but what we can do, if my partner knows that I don't really want to penalize, by bidding something, they cancel the double. And that's how we prevent from the double to remain penalty. Okay, but we cannot say this is not penalty. If you double, it's penalty. Okay, does it make sense? I hope. So let's start with penalty double. Doubles are very important, especially as a deterrent. Okay, so the goal of the double is to stop people from committing suicide. Okay, let's call it that, or if we want to be a bit more gentle, we want to prevent people from ruining our game. What does it mean? If, for instance, my opponents bid 1 round past 12 rounds, normal bidding. Okay, I have 6 points, 7 points as the opponent, and I have 6 cards in clubs. Okay, I can bid 4 clubs. I know that I'm not going to make it. Yes, it's a suicide, let's call it. But if double does not exist, it might be beneficial for me, even if I go 4 down, 5 down. Okay, why? Because I'm potentially losing less points than if I would pass and let my opponent make the 3 rounds. So that's what the rules are trying to prevent. They're trying to prevent you from doing those foolish things, because what will happen in reality, if I bid the 4 clubs, the opponents could and should double me, and then when I go down, I'm losing a lot of points, and I lose more than their 3 drops. Okay, so that's basically the idea behind penalty. Now, or let's say that's the main reason why penalty double was introduced into the game, because someone can come and say, why have penalty double? The opponents are bidding, they are trying to make it. If they don't make it, you get the points. If they make it, they get the points, and that's it. Why do we need to start? Okay, so this is the main thing. So I always I'll do it quickly, I like to compare it to a speeding ticket. Okay, so the idea behind speeding ticket, I hope, or I assume that the council or whoever is doing it, they are not doing it because they want to get the money. I mean, it's a nice benefit, I guess, but the goal is that people would not go over the speed limit. Okay, if no one goes over the speed limit, no one has to pay any fine. And it's absolutely, and that's the goal. So double is the same. If no one is exaggerating in the bidding, they are probably not going to get double. Unlikely, okay, unless it's an extreme scenario. Okay, so now the question is, the double was introduced as a deterrent to make people think twice before they are doing, let's say, actions that are too risky, let's say. So when you play, even duplicate, you're not likely to run into penalty double very often, not likely. Unless what? Unless you are a careless player. Okay? If you are exaggerating, then you're more likely to be double. But let's ask the following question. When penalty double is more likely to be used? And the reason I ask this question is I want to raise awareness. When should you consider penalty double? Okay, what does it mean? Usually when you play, doubling your opponents, I don't think it's usually something that you are considering. They bid. Let's assume that let's say that you and your partner are not involved in the bidding, for instance, okay? They bid, high, low. I don't feel that people sitting there say, maybe I'll double them, maybe I'll double them. It's not something that you're thinking. Maybe you think too big if you have a long suit or if your partner or whatever. But I don't think it's something that you are really saying, wait, I should double, or I think I should double, or it's something that is on your mind. And sometimes it should. Usually no. Usually it's fine. Do what you're doing, it's fine. So when yes, double should be considered mainly in competitive bidding and mainly when we, my partner and me, are the stronger side. When it's quite clear. In many cases, it will be clear. Sometimes the sides are quite the same. Even then, it could be still relevant, but it's a bit more relevant when it's quite clear that we are stronger. Yes. So I'll give you a quick example. Okay. You open one spade, but you have a nice 18, 19. You have a nice hand. You have a strong opening bid. Okay. Opponent bid 3 diamonds, preemptive. Your partner bid 3 spades. Opponent bid 4 diamonds. And you, of course, with, let's say, 18, 19 points, of course, you bid 4 spades. Yes, I assume you won't let them play 4 points. But now the bidding goes pass, 5 diamonds. Or whoever, someone bids 5 diamonds. Okay? Here, you should definitely, I'm not saying that you should necessarily double, but you definitely should consider double, okay? You should realize that your opponents are likely to be overboard, okay? Or bidding because you went higher, or, competing, sacrificing, we can define what sacrifice is, okay? So, okay, let's go a bit slowly over the bidding and try to understand what's going on and why I should consider double, okay? I open one spade, sending information, that's basic. 3 diamond, this is a preemptive overcall, weak jump overcall, usually 7 cards, could be 6, with a weak hand, usually about 5 to 10 points. We take the wider range. My partner 3 spade is a competitive bid, it's not an invitation. They have the spade support, but they are not very strong. I mean, they would have gone probably to 4, 8, 9, 7, something. Okay. 4 diamond, competitive bid. Okay. My 4 spades, of course, I know that I have a strong hand, so I went to the game. That was very straightforward. Okay. But the 5 diamond, they didn't bid 5 diamond originally. They bid 5 diamond only after I bid the 4 spades. Why? They are competing. They don't want me to play 4 spades. They don't have many spades. They have more diamonds. They don't want me to make the 4 spades and get my bonus of the game. Whatever the reason is, do you think it's likely that they will make 5 diamonds? If we have, let's say, 18 or 19 points, and my partner also have some points, and we have clearly more points than that, extremely unlikely, near impossible, okay? So here, double could be used as the opponents have denied me from my legitimate game for spades that would have given me, depends on vulnerability, 600 or 400 points. I want to try and get it back. If you don't double, you never get it back. You'll get something back, but not 600. Even if they go 4 down, it's not going to help you, okay? So the double makes sure that if you defeat them, especially if you defeat them more than 1 or 2 down, you will get a significant number of points, and in some cases, even more than your 4 spades. Potentially. It depends the vulnerability, it depends how many down they go. Yes, it depends on the details, but let's put it this way. If you don't double, you have no chance to get to be compensated for what you have lost or what you could have gained in the 4 spades. Okay, so this is one example. Of course, there are many examples, but the common thing about all of them is competitive bidding. Okay, so it's different than the bidding goes one diamond pass, three diamond pass, five. Okay, that's a totally different. They went to the same five diamonds, okay, but they did it on purpose. There is no one forced them, no one pushed them, okay. Here you might double. I'm not saying you shouldn't double, but it's much less likely, and it's not a position where I'm saying you should consider doubling. Okay, do you see the difference between this five diamond, this five diamond, where you look at the bidding? Okay, okay.
Is the three diamond on that example still a preemptive?
No, this is an invitation. So this is a support of 4 cards at least, and about 10 to 12 points.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a totally different bidding. Yeah.
Right. So you can only have a preemptive.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? 3 diamond pass 5 diamond. Okay, let's do this. Still a preemptive, but here 3 diamond pass 5 diamond. No one forced this player to go to 5 diamond. They went on their own. Again, you might double. I'm not saying you shouldn't double. I'm not saying, but I don't feel it's a position where double is something that is likely to be considered or okay, it's very different. Even though both here, it's another example of a preemptive. It's not only the preemptive, it's the fact that because there is no competition, this player didn't have to go to 5 diamond. They could have stayed at 3, could have gone to 4, they could have done whatever they wanted. Here, it's clear that they go to 5 diamond only because we went to 4 spades. If I don't go to 4 spades, they would have stayed in 4 diamonds. I believe so. Okay. And by the way, 4 diamond pass, they cannot bid even if they wanted. So, okay. So about penalty double, what I wanted to say, it is originally added as a deterrent, and we want to consider it in positions where it seems that the opponents are taking away our legitimate contract. And that's usually when we are the stronger side in terms of the points. Okay? Okay, good. So that's about penalty doubles. Questions are very welcome, of course. Before we continue to the more relevant ones, of course, the penalty double is not very common. Again, depends on the player. Yes, it's like asking, is speeding ticket common? Depends on the drivers. You drive fast, you are more likely to get the ticket. Okay, so the same here. You are more careless. You are bidding higher and higher without being afraid of not making it or having a weak hand, etc. So you are more likely to get double. That's very straightforward. But assuming players are reasonable, penalty doubles are not frequent. Okay. Yes. Questions about penalty doubles? Okay. So the more relevant doubles are doubles that are used for communication purposes. We use the double to send information to the partner, to find a fit, to compete against our opponents, mainly. Okay, some doubles are even could be used for the defense, so could be used for opening leads, like the lead directing double. Okay, so there are a lot of doubles that, but what's common to all of those doubles, we are trying to communicate. Penalty double has no communication. Penalty double means that's what I want to do and I want you to pass, and that's it. They bid 5 diamonds. I don't think they can make it. I think that by defeating them, we'll get a lot of points. I don't want you to do anything. I'm not sending you any information. I'm not telling you what I have. Your decision to double is not explained. Okay? So a penalty double has no element of communication. Okay? And all other doubles, okay, all the informative doubles, what we usually call them, are doubles that are sending information and communicating with the partner. So we are going to focus on the 2 most common and most relevant doubles, and those are the takeout and the negative. Start with the takeout. Takeout is the most versatile double in bridge. The most common, can be used in in many different bidding scenarios, where the common to all of them is, okay, A, my partner hasn't bid, with one exception of one or trump. Okay, so takeout double could be used when your partner bid one or trump, because the equivalence is that my partner did not give me any reference to where the long suit is. Okay, if my partner bids one diamond or two spades, I know what's the long suit. Yeah, so remember, the takeout double is basically saying, partner, take me out of what they have bid and show me or bid your longest suit. Okay, but if your partner has already bid the longest suit, then of course takeout double cannot exist. Okay, so mainly when your partner has not bid yet or did have a chance to bid but chose to pass. Okay, and the opponents have bid a suit and not no trump. Maybe if we have time, we'll even add the double after the no trump, which is of course different. So what's the idea behind the takeout? Okay, my opponents bid a suit. I'm not so happy to let them play that suit and that level, because usually we are talking about lower level bids, one or two mainly. Could be three, but mainly one or two. So the easiest scenario will be opponents bid one spade, and I immediately double. Okay, this is the most basic takeout double, very common. And the double here is coming instead of an overcall mainly. What does it mean instead of an overcall? My option was, if I'm not so happy with spade, so bid. Why do you double? You can bid two diamond, you can bid two heart, you can bid two club. Why do you double? We double because we prefer that my partner will choose the suit rather than me. Okay? So overcall is the opposite. Overcall is I choose the suit. Two diamonds, I have diamonds. I want to play diamonds. I'm not asking you to do something else. Now, if you bid two diamonds or an overcall, it doesn't mean that your partner cannot bid something else, but you're not really asking them. Yeah? So there is a conceptual difference between an opening and an overcall that people, I don't think, really realize. If I open one diamond, I'm expecting you to bid and potentially something else even, especially when it's a minor. Okay? I'm not saying, listen, diamonds is what we should do necessarily. I might repeat it later, and that's a different story. But when I start, I'm expecting a conversation. Usually we go one diamond, one heart, one spade. One diamond, one spade, two club. One diamond, one motor, whatever it is. Okay? And I don't feel that because you didn't stay with my diamonds, you've done something wrong or bad or whatever. Overcall is different, especially at the two level. I bid two diamonds. I'm not, again, it's not that you cannot bid two hearts or three clubs if you wanted, but it's not expected. It's more, I'm saying, that's my long suit, at least 5 or 6 cards, 2 picture cards. Lead that suit if you have a chance, if you are in defense. It's usually more, this is what I have. That's my suit. Yes. So in other words, you need a good reason to bid another suit. Okay. Again, it's not that you can't do it or you won't do it, but you need a better reason than if I open one diamond, you'll bid a new suit almost always. Yes. There is you want to talk about the requirements. So requirements: 5 cards, 2 picture cards. We focus on the suit. At the 2 level, it's reasonable with 10 points at least. Yes. At the 1 level can be less, 7 or 8. But it's up to you. And it's less important the points. Overcall are more about the suit. Okay, and in overcall, I'm saying that's what I want. It's a much more. It's not an absolute decision. If my partner has no diamonds or 1 diamond and something else, of course they will bid it. Yes, but it's more I almost direct us to decide to bid that suit. Okay, it's less opening a conversation. Double is exactly the opposite. Double means, partner, I don't want to choose the suit. I want you to choose the suit because I don't have a preference or I don't have a strong preference. Okay, so let's look quickly at 2 examples. One of them is overcall and one of them is double, and we'll see the difference. Okay, now we will double mainly when we are short in the opponent's suit. It doesn't have to be 1 or 0, it could be 2, but usually shortage in the opponent's suit. Okay, let's take a singleton. This is the classic. But one scenario will be, I have, let's say, 1 card in spade, 2 cards in hearts, okay, 6 cards in diamond, and 4 cards in clubs, okay? This is what? Double or overcall?
Okay.
This is a clear overcall. I have a clear preference to the diamonds. It's long, it's strong. I don't really want to open it for discussion, okay? So this is an overcall. On the other hand, if you look at this hand, I have 4 hearts, I have 4 diamonds, and I have 4 clubs. Which one will I choose? I don't want to choose because I don't know which one is the best for the partnership. My partner might have 1 or 2 in one of them. They might have 4 or 5 in one of them. I clearly want the one where they have 4 or 5, not the one where they have 1 or 2. But I don't know which one it is. If I bid 2 diamonds or 2 hearts or 2 clubs, doesn't matter which, my partner doesn't know that I have all of them. They think that I have only this, and they are not necessarily going to bid anything else. The double means, partner, you choose whatever you choose, as long as it's no spades, I'm happy. Okay? The double guarantees that we will find our best suit. Or when I say best, when we have the most cards, 100%. Because I have the same 4 cards in all of them. Partner will choose the longest. It will always be the best option for us. That's the strength of the double. The double is much more A, inclusive, meaning I'm involving my partner, okay, and B, it's a hand, it's used in hands that are much more, it's a little bit more similar to the one or trump, in the sense that it gives a more holistic definition of the hand rather than singular. Yes, when you overcall, you say, I have heart, I have diamond, I have club, whatever you bid, you're showing only that. Also opening bid, the same. One or trump, yes, I'm comparing it to one or trump. Many people are making the mistake to say balance. It's not a balanced hand. It's a, let's say, a balance of 3 suits. 3 suits that are more or less the same. Okay, so it reminds of a little bit the balance, but the analogy is that it's given a description which is much more holistic, while the double is, by the way, even much more accurate than one or trump. Because no two or any no trump, any balanced hand has no reference to where the length is. Here, I'm saying that I have 3 suits more or less the same. I'm showing where the shortage is. So you're almost describing your hand. I mean, again, 4-4-4-1, of course, is the classic, yes? Not always will you have 4-4-4-1. But even if I had, let's say, 1 less club and 1 more spade, I would still double. Yes? And of course, in clubs, if my partner chooses clubs, it's a bit less less successful, but it is what it is. I can do it with 1-3 card. I mean, 1 suit with only 3 cards is absolutely fine, as long as the others are 4. It's fine. Another alternative is this. And here, of course, it creates a decision. Yes, you can overcall with this hand and be 2 diamond. It wouldn't be wrong because you have 5 cards in diamonds. But some people might decide to double. What's the disadvantage of the 2 diamond? If my partner has only 1 or 2 cards in diamonds, but 4 or 5 in clubs or in hearts, by bidding 2 diamond, you might miss the fit. Because when you bid 2 diamonds, your partner has no knowledge about the other suits. The double, the advantage is that your partner will choose the longest suit, which you potentially find another fit in diamonds. The disadvantage is if your partner has, let's say, 4 diamonds and 4 clubs, or 4 diamonds and 4 hearts, they are likely to, well, with 4 diamonds and 4 hearts is not necessarily a disadvantage because we still have 8. But let's say with 4 diamonds and 4 clubs, they might choose the clubs and then we'll play with only 7 clubs instead of 9 diamonds. So there are, of course, disadvantages in double, but there are also advantages. So it poses an interesting dilemma, let's say, which it's up to you to decide. Okay. In terms of the points, takeout double, the basic takeout double like this is referred to as an opening hand. So any hand that you would have opened, you will also double. So 12, good 11, absolutely fine. Okay, so that's a basic takeout double. We'll stop now for questions. Okay, and then of course I want to give you a few more scenarios of bidding, maybe not necessarily with the cards, but more the bidding scenario. Okay, to see that the takeout double is very versatile in terms of the positions that you can use it. You can use it in many, many, many different bidding scenarios, completely different. And that's very, very different than the negative double, which is extremely specific. It's only one position. Okay, so they are, in that aspect, completely different. Yes.
Last week, and I can't remember what the situation was, whether it was a negative double or a takeout double.
Okay.
But somebody around my table asked for advice, and
Yes.
the helpers, I can't remember again who it was,
Doesn't
said,
matter.
play double.
Yes.
And we said, but we thought we needed an opening hand. So is there, and she didn't. So is
In
there-
negative double, you don't need an opening hand.
Okay, maybe it's that then.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's not this.
By the way, takeout double also not always require an opening hand. It depends on the bidding.
Okay.
So I said that the basic, and sometimes it will require more than. It's because the takeout double, unlike the negative, is much more versatile. With negative double, almost always you won't need an opening hand. It depends on the bidding, depends on the level. But remember that negative double happens when my partner opens the bidding. If my partner opens the bidding, generally speaking, I don't need an opening hand to bid. Okay? So by the way, that's the way to distinguish.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to add that specifically when your partner opens one more time and there was an overcall, we also use a takeout double here. So this is a bit of an exception. One more time, two spades, double is also type of takeout, or one more time, two diamond, double. Because then your partner showed the points, but didn't show you anything about where the length is. So it's a bit, there are many. Again, takeout double is extremely undefined in terms of the position. There are many positions, okay, and therefore also the points are not defined. So I'll give now a few examples, and we'll analyze them quickly, okay, just to see how versatile it is. So let's start. Questions, more questions. Yes.
I did have a question.
Please.
If I'm having to reply to your double.
So you're talking about responses to double.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't discussed it. I just want to see the time. Okay, I'll give a short, because responses to double is at least one lesson, and
It's a
preferably two.
It's
So
a specific question.
okay,
Maybe in as much as you said, show your longest suit.
yes,
If you have two suits, maybe 1-5, 1-4, and your
okay,
4 is so much nicer
okay,
than your 5. Your 5 is actually rubbish, but the longest.
okay.
Can you break that rule that you just said about you've got to show your longest suit?
Okay. I'll answer that, but I also want, as you asked about responses, I think it won't be bad to do a little bit of responses to double. I'll just give you the logic, okay? I'll start with the logic and then I'll answer your question. After a double, my partner is expected to respond. When I said expected to respond, I would even be more extreme to say obliged to respond, okay? And the reason for it is that if this hand, the opponent here pass, and my partner pass, and the opener pass, the double becomes penalty. And that we don't want that, and therefore my partner is responsible to cancel the double. There are two scenarios where my partner could pass. One of them is simple, is if this hand bid, and then they already canceled my double anyway, and then my partner is off the hook. They can bid, of course, if they wanted, but they don't have to. If there was a pass here, they are expected to bid, as I said before. The other scenario where they might pass, this is a bit advanced. I'll mention that if you're learning double for the first time, ignore it at the moment because it could be a bit complex. Once they double pass, the partner could pass, but not if they don't have points. This is a very common mistake. That's why we are saying you have to respond even if you have 0 points. You have to respond. You can pass if you believe that you can defeat the one spades. So if, let's say, my partner has 6 cards in good 6 cards in spades, they can pass. Is it going to happen frequently? Probably not, but it could happen. Okay? So basically the pass means, you know what? I'm happy with the penalty double because I believe that we can defeat it. As you can imagine, it's very rare. Okay? And that's why when you learn take out double for the first time, the definition will be you have to beat. But it's not accurate. You can pass in rare occasions. Okay? Make sense? About your question, the partner is the decision maker. So if we refer to the concept of opener and responder in normal bidding, okay, you are like the opener because you gave a description, and the partner is like the responder because they are making the decision based on what you have shown. And therefore, maybe it was not so good to say they should be the longest suit. So the answer is they definitely don't have to be the longest suit. They bid whatever they want because they are the boss. Okay? So if they want to be the 4 and not the 5, absolutely fine. If they want to be the 5 and not the 4, absolutely fine. No problem at all. If you want a guideline, okay, the quality of the suit for me is absolutely not relevant, not even a little bit. So if I have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ace, king, queen, jack, so let's take the most extreme, wouldn't make any difference in my decision, okay? What makes a difference in the decision mainly is major minor. So if the 4 card is a major and the 5 card is a minor, that will be the only reason why I might be the 4 and not the 5 card suit. There is no other, okay? So if I have ace, king, queen, jack, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's say both of them are minors or both of them are majors, definitely bid. Personally, I'll definitely bid the 5. You want to be the stronger one, be the stronger one. Again, you are the boss, not me. If I'm playing, I'm bidding. If you're playing, you're bidding. So do whatever you want. There's no rule that you have to bid the longer. It's up to you. I personally think that it's better to bid the longer, but you might not agree with me. It's absolutely fine. Don't have to agree with me. No joking. It's your decision. What I will add, okay, about the response, and that's a very common mistake. You should bid higher than necessary if your hand is positive, if you are strong. The problem with response to double is not the 4 or the 5. The problem with the response to double is that if my partner bids 2 clubs or 2 diamonds or 2 hearts after my double, they might have 2 points. I don't know. They might have 3 points. They might have 1 point. They might have 5 points. They might have 8 points. So it's hard for me to know what to do. And therefore, if the partner has a nice 10, 11 points, they should bid 3 in the suit rather than 2 to tell me that they are stronger. That's the let's say difficult or important part. Okay. More questions. Did it answer your 5-4? Okay, so whatever you want to do, if you're asking me, the only position I'll bid the shorter one is if it's a major and the longer is a minor. Okay, again, that's only me. Yes, I'm repeating again. You can do whatever you want. Yes. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. So let's see different positions. So first of all, preemptive. 2 spades, 3 spades. Okay. Double exists exactly in the same way. Okay, so that's important to remember. It's not a big difference. Second, both opponents have bid. Okay, so one spade passed two spades. My partner didn't bid. If my partner bids, then takeout double does not exist anymore. Okay, one spade passed two spades, double. Okay, same, no difference here basically. Okay, same meaning, no difference. The next example would be both opponents have bid, but they wait. One spade, another example, one spade plus one double, same. The double refers to the suit, because obviously no trump is not a suit, okay? The double refers to the suit, and this is the same takeout double as before. There is no difference. The exact same meaning, the exact same. Now, where is it going to be different? If the opponents bids two different suits. One diamond pass, one spade double is a takeout double, but instead of showing I have all other three suits, you're showing two suits. Which two suits? Of course, the unbid suits. In our specific case, it's clubs and hearts, but generally speaking, the two suits that were not bid by the opponents. In this case, you're not supposed to have three in either. It has to be 4 and 4 at least, and preferably 5 and 4. Okay, but 4 and 4 is definitely, you don't want to do it with 4 and 3. Extremely not recommended. Let's put it this way. Okay, so in this bidding, if it's no, so let's change it to one club, and then the hand will fit the description. One club pass, one spade. This is definitely a potential double. Again, we have a deliberation. We can be two diamonds. We can be double. Both are correct. Okay. If you ask me, this is a definite double, because here the advantage is my partner cannot choose clubs. Okay. So if they bid hearts, they prefer hearts. Okay. So for me, there's no question. It's a definite double and not two diamonds. But if you still want to bid your diamonds, I won't stop you. Up to you. Okay, more positions. So far, we focus on position where either one or both opponents bid, preemptive, not preemptive, supporting, not supporting, bidding in your suit, not bidding in your suit. In all of them, take out down. Okay. So let's see more interesting position. Okay. Let's look at something interesting. Okay. One of them pass, so this will be a little bit more elaborate, okay? Two hearts. Assuming that the opponents play transfer, two hearts is a transfer to spades. Okay, let's say, let's do this, it will be a bit, okay? So, would we bid anything now? We have a problem, okay? I'm not sure if it's a good idea to stick our nose at this point. For two reasons. First of all, we don't know what's going on here. I mean, we know that they have 5,000 spades. We don't know the points. They might have 5 points, they might have 20, theoretically. Okay. In other words, they can have anything. Okay. And also, what do you bid? I just want to remind you, if you learn, double here would not be takeout. Double here would be lead directing. So double here would show hearts. We are not going to get into it now, but it's a different type of double. So, personally, I would start by passing at this point, okay? Now they bid two spades, probably, because that's what the partner asked them, okay? My partner passed again, and say that this hand passes, which means, of course, they want to stay in two spades, they are not solid, they don't want to go to game, whatever, okay? Now, what do I do? Simple, double, of course, okay? Well, let's say with the 14, some people might have bid already right after the two hearts, but if we would have made the hand a bit weaker, so that's originally definitely a pass. Yes, with 10 points, you're not going to stick your nose after the two hearts. But once they already stopped the bidding in two spades, even with 10 points, I don't have a problem to bid because I know that my partner has something. This is what we call reopening position. But what I wanted to show is the transfer, and then we wait the transfer to be completed, and then we double. Because if you double here, it's not going to be interpreted in the same way. if it makes sense, because the two heart is an artificial bit. Okay. Okay, so that's another example. One more example, okay, which is completely different in concept, is I open the bidding, okay, one diamond. Let's look at this scenario. 14, let's make it a bit stronger, 15, whatever. Okay, I open one diamond, unbalanced, 15 points, whatever, and then longest suit. Okay, the opening bid is straightforward, one diamond. Okay, one spade overcall, let's say, pass for my partner and two spades. If I want to bid again, and that's up to you, you might want to pass, but if you want to bid again, and of course the incentive is we have only one spade, the correct bid is down. Partner, I have everything but spades, and diamond is my longest suit. How do we know that? Because I open one time. So your partner can go back to the diamonds knowing that you have diamonds, or if they don't, they can choose between the clubs and diamonds. So as you can see, this is a very different scenario where we already have information about our hand, and only then we use the takeout double. Another scenario, which is of course different. So you can see it's an extremely versatile, and of course I can give more examples, but maybe for now it's enough. Okay. So takeout double, by far the most useful double, happens a lot, and always the one to use to know, and very, very useful bit. Okay. Okay, negative. Let's do the negative quickly. We don't have a lot of time, and next week we can continue about negative, because not a bad idea to discuss negative. So negative double happens when my partner opened the bidding, let's say one diamond, and the opponent overcalled. Okay, now this is no longer takeout position, because my partner told me the diamond is the longest suit. So I'm not going to ask what is your longest suit. They already told me. Okay, so takeout double cannot exist. What yes, the overcall from the opponent have interrupted my bidding. What did I want to do after the one diamond with this hand? Very simple. If there was a pass, what do I bid? It's 4 cards in hearts and 4 cards in clubs and 10 points, or even 8 points, or even 6 points. I would have responded simple. No, one heart. One. Why? Partner might have 4 cards in hearts. If not, they'll show me what they have. No trouble. Not so. But I keep the bidding open, and of course try to find the heart fit. The overcall of the one spade have interrupted. I can no longer bid one heart. They have stopped me. They have interrupted my bid. Okay. So how do I still try to find the fit in hearts and or getting more information from my partner? If I bid 2 hearts, partner will expect 5. If I pass, partner might, we might not go anywhere, partner might pass. They don't know. Okay. So this is negative double. Partner, I have basically what you're saying in double is I wanted to respond 1 heart, the opponent have interrupted. The double negative shows exactly or only the unbid major. So I'm showing specifically hearts. Okay, it's not like a takeout double showing all the suits or 2 suits. It shows only 1 suit. So in terms of frequency, it's very common to happen, because the requirements are very, very low. All you need is 4 hearts. That's it. It's not so rare to get 4 cards in hearts. Okay, and points could be the normal 6 that we would have responded. You even don't have to have the opening hand, and that makes a negative double a very, very common bid. But remember, it's restricted to my partner bids 1 in a suit and the opponent overcall in another suit. It's only that scenario exclusively. Okay, so that's why it's quite common, but only when this is the how the bidding started. Any other bid, any other scenario, negative double does not exist. Extremely specific, okay, but very useful. If it comes up, it's very useful because there is no other way to show 4 cards in hearts. Okay, we bid 2, it shows 5. And by the way, it can be helpful even if I had 5 cards in hearts, but I have only 6, 7 points. Just like here, 6 points. So what? When you bid 2 hearts with only 6 points, you're expected to have 10. So here I can still use double. I have the 6 points and I have more than 4 hearts, but I have 4 hearts, so absolutely fine. Okay, so the double can be versatile. 2 options. Either I have exactly 4 cards in hearts, or I have 5 cards in hearts, but I'm not strong enough to bid it at the 2 level. Okay, so that's the negative. So there is more to say about the negative, how to respond, and of course, positions where a major was not bid or most majors were bid. There is more to the negative double. It's not only that, but this is the gist of it. Yes, I think that will be enough for today. And we'll continue on negative double. Last questions. All good?
Yeah.
Clear? Thank you very much. See you soon.